Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. My name is Saimah and welcome to another episode of Saimah's Experience. In this video, I'm going to go over my top 3 business tips that are going to improve your Turo business, and I highly recommend you utilize them. I don't know why this stuff is not talked about more, but I don't want you guys to learn the hard way. So the number one thing is running and operating your Turo cars as a business. And this question comes up all the time in the comment section. So thank you all for commenting and leaving that feedback. And I'm so happy to finally make a video about this. Now, when you are a Turo host, you can operate your cars as just under your personal, so meaning when you do your taxes for Turo, when Turo pays you out, it can just go to your personal bank account and it can be under your personal social security number. Or Turo gives you the option to operate as a business on the back end, meaning you can input your entity's name and your entity's federal tax ID number, which is similar to a social security number, but for a business. Now, people ask me all the time, Saimah, what's your advice? Would you recommend that I operate personally or should I operate as a business? Now, in my personal opinion, and of course, I am not a financial advisor or a tax advisor, so you always want to do your own research and homework whenever you make these types of decisions. But from everything that I've seen and from the advice that I've received from my own CPA, it is always best to operate under an entity such as an LLC or an S corporation. And there are so many reasons for this. I'm telling you guys, I literally went to college for business, and this stuff is never talked about. You're never educated on it. There's not that much information even on the web about this stuff, and it makes a huge difference. The reason being, your biggest cost in life usually is typically taxes, right? And most of us just don't understand taxes. I still don't understand taxes, and I've had a business for over a decade, and I actually tried to read about this stuff and learn about this stuff, but it's confusing. So I completely get where you guys are coming from when you ask me questions about this stuff. So I'm going to do my best to explain it. Now, the reason why you should try to operate as an entity is because it is tax efficient and it minimizes liability to you personally. This is really important in a business like Turo because you are dealing with things that are cars and people who can drive them recklessly and get into bad accidents. Now, that is the beauty of operating through a platform like Turo because they do operate as a middleman so that liability doesn't get passed on to you. But of course, we do live in a society where litigation is very common. So who's to say that this is something that can't end up at your doorstep and could potentially put you at a lot of risk. So you want to avoid that. By having an entity and operating your vehicles under an entity, you create that barrier so that nothing reaches you personally or your personal assets. And that is very important to keep yourself safe. Now, here's why it's tax efficient. So when you are a host on Turo, Turo pays you for all the rentals that you accumulate throughout the year. So that revenue goes to you. Whether you have it directed to your personal or to your business is up to you. At the end of every fiscal year, you will get something called a 1099. A 1099 is a document that is going to tell you what all of your earnings are. And these earnings have not been taxed yet. So meaning you, as an independent contractor, are responsible for paying taxes on this money, right? So unlike a regular W-2 job where your taxes are being deducted from your paycheck, for something like a 1099 and operating on a platform like Turo, you have to pay taxes all at once you receive that 1099. And that can be a hefty amount if you are not set up correctly. So I want to share an example with you guys to put some numbers to it and hopefully to kind of help this make a little bit of sense. Now, let's say you're operating your Turo cars as just an individual, right? You've given Turo your social security number, all the money goes to your personal bank account, and the year ends, you get your 1099, it's time to pay taxes. Now, let's say you're a Turo host in California and you made $100,000 on the platform. That means you have to pay a self-employment tax of 15.3% on that $100,000 in revenue that you took in. Now, at $100,000, which is what on average many independent contractors in California make, that means you are roughly going to pay about $15,000, right? I think it's like $14,990 to be exact. Now, here's where having yourself set up as a business creates tax efficiency. Now, if you were set up as an S Corp, for example, and you had all of that revenue going to your business bank account and being reported under your business's federal tax ID number, then what happens is you and your CPA sit down, or your accountant, and you figure out, okay, the industry average pay for somebody in your position operating these vehicles is, let's say, $50,000. So you pay yourself an income of $50,000 from that $100,000 that your business took in. Now, when you go to pay that self-employment tax, you're only paying 15.3% on $50,000, which comes out to just under $8,000. So that is where the tax efficiency comes in. So where you would have paid almost $15,000 in self-employment tax, if you had an entity, you would end up paying just under $8,000. And that is the beauty of having yourself set up as a business. Now, of course, there are additional things that come when you have a business, which means, additional accounting, tracking your expenses, filing taxes, state fees. There's all that stuff, but nonetheless, usually your tax savings end up outweighing any of that additional stuff that you take on. So for me personally, I'm so lucky that when I was young and I was in college, one of my mentors had educated me about this. So from the get-go, I've always operated everything I've done under a business, and I really try to utilize that as much as I can. Now, another reason why you want to do that is because there is this magical thing called tax deductions, right? Think of tax deductions as a gift from the government. And the reason why you're receiving that gift is because you are being they're saying thank you to you for taking the money that you've brought in through your business and putting it back out in the economy, right? Whether that is by way of hiring employees for your business, or hiring an accountant, or taking on different service providers to maintain your business, you are taking that money and you're infusing it back into the economy. And so you will be rewarded for that by way of tax deductions. Now, when you operate your business under an entity, you get to take advantage of these tax deductions, right? So that could be for office expenses, it could be for depreciation, it could be for all those costly maintenance that we do on our cars. I mean, the possibilities are unlimited. Now, when you do that same stuff, but you're doing it under your personal, it becomes very difficult to take those deductions because you are not operating as a business. And then those expenses don't get counted as business expenses, right? So it's really important that you take the time out to kind of understand these concepts. And then you really, really want to consult with your tax advisor or your CPA and find out what the best strategy is for you, because it can really vary based on your financial situation. But I promise you guys, CPAs are magical that way because they can really help guide you on how to set yourself up to be extremely tax efficient. And just remember, taxes often are one of your greatest expenses. So if you can figure out on how to lower that expense by being tax efficient, it is definitely going to be a positive thing for you and your business. So it's very important to take note of that. Now, two other things that I want to mention, just kind of play off of what I just said, is hiring a good accountant or a good CPA is extremely important. And sometimes there's a bit of trial and error. Oftentimes you will go to some accountants and they might not even understand what Turo is or what crypto is, and they don't really know how to go about your taxes. So One of the things that I look for when looking for a CPA is somebody who understands sort of these creator economies or these gig economies, this new way of doing business. And when I find someone who I feel like is in the know of these things, then I feel comfortable with taking my business to them because I know they can help me maximize my tax strategies. Not only that, I think it's extremely important that you educate yourself on taxes and setting yourself up as an entity. Regardless of how good your CPA is, oftentimes when it comes to tax season, they are completely bogged down by clients and numbers and getting taxes done by a deadline, and they're very stressed out. So even if you have a good CPA, at the end of the day, sometimes, not always, but sometimes you do become just another client in the deck, just another set of numbers that they have to push through. So they may not be in their full senses to make sure that you are maximizing every possible tax deduction there is, or utilizing every tax strategy that you can, So you want to really educate yourself so that you can guide your tax planning throughout the year and work with your CPA. Oftentimes I'll read about things and I'll study them, and then I'll go to my CPA and I'll ask him about these things, and then he'll guide me on how to utilize them. So one of my favorite books that I can recommend is Tax-Free Wealth, and that is a great educational device to just kind of get your feet wet and start learning about it. And finally, the third tip that I want to give you guys that is really going to help your Turo business is it's really the psychology of it, right? You want to have the right mindset when you are developing your business. No matter how big or small it is, it doesn't matter. And primarily, I want to emphasize one thing. Whenever you go into doing anything, right? So if you're starting your Turo business, you want to know what game you're playing, right? It's not about what everyone else is doing. It's not about what type of cars other people have or how many cars they have. You got to figure out what game you're playing. That is so important. So what I mean by that is, yes, everyone has a million different strategies that they're utilizing, right? Some people go into economy cars because they have the infrastructure for maintenance, or maybe they have a source through which they can acquire these cars for cheap, and in terms of margins, it makes sense for them. Then you see the people who have exotics, or you see the people who have mid-level luxury. It's all over the map, right? But everyone is playing a different game based on their lifestyle, their resources, and what their goals are. So going into it really takes some time to reflect and think about, what is the game that you're playing? Is your game that you have a full-time job and you just want to do this on the side and make some extra money on the side? Is your end game that you want to eventually have 10 cars, do this full-time and quit your job? Is your game that you just want to be able to drive some of the cars that you love for free just by being able to cover the car payments? So once you hone in on exactly what that is, it's going to guide you on exactly how to run your business without having to compare yourself to other people and what other people are doing in the market, or how they're pricing their cars, or what they're offering, right? This is going to be the guiding light that you need, and it's extremely important because it's going to keep you on the straight path of making sure that your business performs in the way that you need it to. So I often find a lot of people fall into this trap, and it's one thing that I would say that you really want to take some time to think about and then execute on that plan. All right, you guys, on that note, that sums up kind of my 3 tips to improve your Turo business. I hope you guys find this helpful. I am actually going to be attaching a link down in the description below. Many of you guys have been asking me for tips and help on setting up your entities, and I want to try a little bit of an experiment and pick a few of you guys to help you set up your entities, kind of help understand where it is that you are running into trouble. So if you're interested in setting up an entity for yourself, fill out that form down below. I will personally get in touch with you, and then we will go from there and see if I can be of any help to you guys. Thank you again for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, and if you want to support my channel, please be sure to subscribe. I look forward to talking to you guys in the comment section. Take care, everyone, and be safe. Bye, guys.